Undesar's lecture finished. I can see 39 participants here. 39 students are there. All are back. Okay, then should I start? Can you hear me? Okay, okay. I will share the screen. Can you see my screen now? I have shared the screen. Barbiturates, can you see? Yes, any problem with sound? Can't you hear me? Is it okay now? You can see the screen? Hmm? ऐकू येते? Can you hear me now? Is it better than previous? Yes, you can see the screen also. Barbiturates. Okay, okay, okay. I will start. So in yesterday's lecture, we have seen barbiturates. We have not yet completed. We have seen clinical features. Clinical features in that how the barbiturate poisoning passes. How the barbiturate poisoning passes through the different stages, like uh, let me see. Okay. So, barbiturate poisoning in ordinary dose they induce nice sleep, but occasionally there can be mental confusion if it is given in painful condition without analgesic. And one more condition we have discussed yesterday is barbiturate automatism, where the person goes on taking sleeping pills in some confused state of mind, in painful condition without any analgesic, forgets the previously taken dose and develops mental confusion, and goes on repeating the dose, leading to it causes exceed of the fatal dose. Then clinical features we have seen: giddiness, slurred speech, stupor, limbs are flaccid, all the reflexes are lost. Then diplopia will be there in suppressed um, respiratory center. There will be cyanosis, slow sighing respiration, drop in blood pressure and body temperature. All these things we have seen. Uh, okay, to assess the severity, I told you one simple clinical test. If the bowel sounds are present, that means poisoning is not so severe, and if you cannot hear the bowel sounds with stethoscope, that means the bowels are also paralyzed. That's why their movement is also stopped. So that will indicate that the poisoning is severe. So in unconscious patient with no bowel sounds, the poisoning is severe. Then chronic poisoning, it generally occurs in addicted person. The person who is addicted to these barbiturates, sleeping pills and all, they will have loss of concentration and somnolence, vertigo, tremors, हातापायाचा थरकाप होणे, delirium, hallucinations, and emotional disturbances. All these we have seen yesterday. Now we'll see fatal dose. Okay, we had completed up to here. Now we will see fatal dose. Fatal dose of barbiturates. Now we have seen the different classes of barbiturates or classification of the barbiturates like uh, long acting, intermediate acting, short acting, and ultra short acting. So the long acting barbiturates, their fatal dose is around 10 milligram per 100 ml. Here you will have to remember these figures. So long acting barbiturates, their fatal dose is 3 to 4 grams when it is taken in the dose of 3 to 4 grams, and their blood level, the presence of these barbiturates in the blood, that has been given in milligram per 100 ml. So long acting barbiturates 10 milligram or more, intermediate acting 7 milligram per more, and short acting is 3 milligram per or more than per 100 ml of blood. So now see, shorter is the action, more is the fatal dose. Smaller is the fatal dose, or more severe is the action of the poison. So in long acting barbiturates, in case of long acting barbiturates, fatal dose will be a bit larger, that is 10 milligram per dl, no, 10 milligram per 100 ml. uh, Intermediate acting barbiturates, its dose will be still smaller, it will be more dangerous, that is 7 milligram, and in short acting it will be still smaller. And synergism, I have told you so many times. So synergism, if the barbiturate has been taken along with alcohol, its dose can be even small. Death can occur even by the small dose, because its action will be exaggerated by presence of alcohol. So by synergism, even if the poison or the barbiturate has been taken in sublethal dose, in smaller dose, it will cause death. That combined action of alcohol and barbiturate will kill the patient. That what we call it as synergism. Now fatal period, coma lasts for 24 to 48 hours and the death occurs. Occasionally coma may last for several days. But on an average the coma lasts for 2 days. And after 2 days the person will die. So fatal period is around 2 days. It can be even longer in some patients. Now very important is treatment part. Treatment part, with proper treatment death rate is low. So not so many deaths occur because of the barbiturate poisoning. So in case of barbiturate poisoning, death rate is low if the treatment is proper, and in time, obviously. Gastric lavage is to be given with great care, because if the patient is unconscious, we have seen contraindications of gastric lavage: unconscious patient, corrosives, volatile poisons. So if the patient is unconscious, you cannot go for gastric lavage. So it is to be done with great care. Potassium permanganate solution and suspension of animal charcoal can be used for gastric lavage. So stomach is to be washed with care with potassium permanganate solution or animal charcoal, because animal charcoal will neutralize the action of these alkaloids and these barbiturates. So animal charcoal can also be effectively used. Then bowel should be evacuated with enema. Whatever the sorry, so whatever the Unabsorbed barbiturates are present in the gastrointestinal tract. They should be taken out with enema. Patient should be kept warm because patient is likely to develop hypothermia. His body temperature is going to fall. Blood pressure is going to drop. Body temperature will also be low. So patient should be kept warm by keeping some room heater or giving some blankets or wrappings on the body. So patient should be kept warm so that the body temperature should be maintained. Then mucus collected in the respiratory tract can cause obstruction to the breathing. So because patient is not able to ham and hawk, त्याला असं घशात आलेले किंवा respiratory secretions. Okay, can you see the screen? Something is something is happening to my screen. कुछ तो notification आ रहा है that I'm not getting. I don't know what is happening. Okay, okay, I will continue. So, mucus will get collected in the respiratory tract because patient is not having that much power. Patient is not having that much power to take out these secretions in the form of expectoration. So these collected mucus or collected secretions in the respiratory tract will obstruct the breathing. Therefore foot end of the bed is elevated. मतलब सर head end थोड़ा सा नीचे लेना है. You will have to give elevate the foot end for better drainage, for easy drainage of other those mucus or respiratory secretions. And you can also go for aspirations with the help of suction machine. With the help of suction you can take out these respiratory secretions. Then oxygen may be required. If the breathing is not proper, patient is having giant stroke breathing or irregular breathing, or you can see the signs of cyanosis. So you will need oxygen, or sometimes you can even need the artificial respiration if the respiratory center is depressed or patient unconscious patient if not able to breathe at all. So you have to go for artificial respiration, what we call it as ventilator. Patient may need ventilator. Then if the patient is in a state of shock, you will have to go for this aramine. All these are allopathic medicines. I will not explain it in much detail. So you will have to take care of the shock condition by giving IV fluids. And if the blood pressure is dropped, you will have to do the necessary medication. So intravenous aramine at 20 minutes interval till the systolic blood pressure rises up to 100 mm of Hg. And if patient is not responding to aramine, it should be stopped. You have to switch to some other medicine. If analeptics are not used, the coramine is to be used. And now all these are allopathic terminology, I will not go in detail with that. So coramine is a very good respiratory stimulant. So you can use the injection coramine. To stimulate respiratory center so that normal respiration will be established. So initially 5 ml intravenous injection of coramine is to be given, then 10 ml, then 20 ml, and after that every 20 minutes till all the reflexes return. If the coma is prolonged, you have to go for plenty of IV fluids because patient will not be able to eat, swallow, drink anything. So you have to go for parenteral nutrition, that is IV fluids. Antibiotics should be given because patient has been admitted in the hospital. Respiratory secretions have collected in the respiratory tract. They can get infected. Patient can aspirate. Patient can vomit. And some of the vomitus or some of the gastric contents can enter the respiratory tract. What we call it as aspiration. So patient can develop aspiration pneumonia, and patient is admitted in the hospital, so he can also get hospital acquired infection. So just as prophylactic, that is preventive purpose, for preventive purpose, when the patient is admitted in the hospital, immediately start with antibiotics along with the other treatment to prevent the secondary infections. Catheterization, because patient is unconscious, you will need catheterization. And dialysis or exchange transfusion if the patient is having signs of renal failure. This is the general care that is to be taken. Post-mortem appearance, if any person dies by Barbiturate. Now we have seen it is very rarely seen. Rarely the death by barbiturate poisoning occurs if the treatment is given in time and properly. So if any person dies by barbiturate poisoning, झोपेच्या गोळ्या किंवा झोपेच्या इंजेक्शनमुळे जर कोणी एखादा if any person dies, uh, you will see signs of asphyxia. What are the signs of asphyxia? One sign anyone can tell me? What is asphyxia? Cyanosis, okay. What else? Hmm. Huh? So that is the cause. So what will be the signs of asphyxia? अरे मेलेल्या पेशंटमध्ये डिफिकल्टी इन ब्रीथिंग कशी असेल? पोस्टमॉर्टम अपीयरन्स वी आर लुकिंग इनटू. हां, पेटेशियल hemorrhages. अजून सायन्स ऑफ एस्पेक्झिया because of failure of respiration, ventilation or oxygenation of the blood is not taking place in the lung. So accordingly, cyanosis, cyanosis, uh, then petechial hemorrhages will be there. All we have studied science of asphyxia. There will be, and another important sign is त्याच्या खालीच आहे ना लगेच frothing from mouth and nose. There will be frothing from mouth and nose. It is also a sign of asphyxia only. And residual drug can be found in the stomach. So when the abdomen will be opened during postmortem examination, when the abdomen will be opened, some tablets, some unabsorbed tablets can be found in the stomach, and patient will have bronchopneumonia. Just I told you, the patient can have large amount of mucus collected in the respiratory tract, as well as because as a consequence of asphyxia there will be inflammatory signs, and patient will have evidence of bronchopneumonia, and there will be edema of the lungs. And post-mortem examination, lungs will be edematous. In these cases of barbiturate poisoning, while doing the post-mortem examination, stomach, brain should be sent for chemical analysis. You can also go for liver, kidneys, blood and urine. It should be collected and sent for chemical analysis in forensic laboratory. So in forensic laboratory, you can detect those poison, those barbiturate or samples of barbiturate can be obtained by the chemical analysis of part of stomach, brain, liver, kidney and even the blood sample. So here in these viscera, what we call it as preservation of viscera. So these preserved viscera are to be sent for chemical analysis to the forensic laboratory, where the poison can be detected even in minute amounts. Now, medical legal aspect. Medical legal aspect. How the poisoning with barbiturate can occur. So barbiturates are freely prescribed and freely available. So many doctors give it in their prescription. So many patients complain of insomnia, डॉक्टर नींद नहीं आती वगैरह वगैरह ऐसे बहुत सारे कंप्लेंट रहते हैं. स्ट्रेस, इवन इन साइकेट्रिक डिसऑर्डर्स ऑल्सो. सो दिस बारबिट्यूरेट्स आर वेरी वेरी कॉमनली प्रिस्क्राइब्ड. नींद की गोली तो ऐसे आराम से डॉक्टर लोग लिख के देते हैं, हाँ ये 10 गोली लो, रोज रात को एक खाओ, लाइक दैट. सो it is freely prescribed and freely available in the medical store. That's why it is used very commonly for suicide. So किसी को भी suicide करनी है, एक तो वो आसानी से मिल जाती है कहीं भी, और again, what are the characteristic symptoms of ideal suicidal poison? We have already studied. The death has to be painless. हाँ, it has to be easily available, it has to be cheap, it should be orally taken, and the death has to be painless. So all these things. 20-25 नींद की गोली खा के सो जाएगा तो डायरेक्ट कहाँ उठेगा? ऊपर जाके उठेगा. बराबर ना, डायरेक्ट ऊपर जाके उठेगा. सो इट इज पेनलेस, पेनलेस डेथ. सो बिकॉज इट इज freely prescribed and freely available, cheap, easily available, orally can be taken, and painless death, absolutely painless death. So it is used commonly for suicide. So one poison we have seen, that is hydrocyanuric acid, ideal suicidal poison. Same you can add in that. Example of ideal suicidal poison is barbiturates. So it is the ideal suicidal poison. And also accidental overdose can occur. We have seen in barbiturate automatism, and also in some confused state condition where the accidental overdose can occur and it can cause poisoning. Then एंजाइटी ऑफ मॉडर्न लाइफ। यस्टरडे वी हैव सीन, आजकल वो नींद की गोली खाना टेंशन स्ट्रेस रिलीव करने के लिए, दैट इज़ वेरी कॉमन बिकॉज ऑफ दिस कंपटीशन, टारगेट्स एंड changed lifestyle. And that's why because of this modern life, this lifestyle, there is so much anxiety, so person is addicted to these sleeping pills. तो उनको आदत लग जाती है नींद की गोली की, नींद की इंजेक्शन की, जिसके बगैर उन्हें नींद ही नहीं आती, and accidentally such a person can get the overdose either by automatism or along with the alcohol, what we call it as synergism. दारू पी के आएगा और हमेशा की आदत से एक नींद की गोली भी खाएगा, so that will cause complications or even death, because of synergism. And automatism we have seen in painful condition, if the sleeping pill is taken, the confused state of mind will be developed, and the person will forget the previously taken dose and will go on repeating in that confused state of mind, will go on repeating the same tablet and will exceed the fatal dose and will die because of overdose. So either by automatism or with the alcohol, even it has been taken in sublethal dose because of what is that condition? Synergism. So this is medical legal aspect. It is freely prescribed, freely available, so easily available for suicide, commonly used for suicide. Accidental overdose can occur. It is very likely to cause addiction, and because of barbiturate automatism or by synergism, death can occur. So this is all about barbiturates, झोपेच्या गोळ्या, नींद की गोली, नींद की injection, as we have seen in the introductory part of barbiturates. This one. So sedatives, hypnotics, and anesthetics. Anesthetics are generally which are used intravenously. So therapeutically, they are used for psychiatric diseases, epilepsy, and to relax the muscles in case of convulsions and all. They can cause poisoning. Got everyone? Barbiturates. Any problem? Any difficulty? Any term or any point you have not understood? Anyone? How to assess severity of poisoning? How chronic intoxication can occur because of addiction? Fatal dose, that you will have to remember. And treatment part, that is taking care of the respiratory tract, removing the unabsorbed poison, and taking the general care of the patient. Even sometimes you may need the oxygen or ventilator if the respiratory center is paralyzed, and taking care of coma, dehydration, body temperature, preventing the infection by giving prophylactic antibiotics, catheterization, and in severe cases you may even need the dialysis and blood transfusion. Post-mortem appearance, we have seen there will be signs of asphyxia. And medical legal aspect, this is the ideal suicidal poison. Got everyone? Okay, now I'll go to the next group of poison, that is insecticides. Insecticides are also called as organophosphorus compounds. So in short, it is called as OPP, organophosphorus poisoning. Insecticides. What do you mean by insecticides? Anyone? Insecticides. हाँ, जो भी खेती में वगैरह यूज करते हैं ना, अलग अलग दवाइयाँ, so all those pesticides, insecticides, they all will come under organophosphorus compounds. So in short, it is called as OPP, organophosphorus poisoning. So number of organophosphorus compounds are used as insecticides. So many now because of that, so many financial problems, loan, rain, and so many problems that farmers are going through. शेतकऱ्यांच्या आत्महत्या, that is the very hot and burning issue. Commonly they either go for hanging or these insecticides consumption, or swallowing these insecticides, काहीतरी शेतीतले कीटकनाशक विषारी औषध पिऊन आत्महत्या. That is very common again because it is easily available. सगळ्या शेतकऱ्यांच्या घरामध्ये ह्या औषधाच्या बाटल्या असतात त्यांच्या शेतीमध्ये वापरासाठी. That's why easily available at home. so it is commonly used for suicidal purpose. So number of organophosphorus compounds are used as insecticides, and they are more toxic in human than in rodents. Chemically they are alkyl and aryl phosphates. One hydrogen molecule is removed, one hydrogen molecule is removed from aliphatic hydrocarbon when the alkyl is formed, and from aromatic hydrocarbon when aryl is formed. And such an alkyl or aryl radical can replace a hydrogen atom. Now this is all about chemistry in short, because in every poison, while starting with any poison, we always go for some physical properties, physical and chemical properties. So how these organophosphorus compounds are prepared, its chemistry I have mentioned in short. So organophosphorus compounds are chemically alkyl and aryl phosphates. Alkyl and aryl phosphates. Hydrogen molecule, one hydrogen molecule is removed from aliphatic hydrocarbon will give rise to alkyl, and one hydrogen molecule removed from aromatic hydrocarbon when aryl is found. And such an alkyl or aryl radical from which the hydrogen molecule has been removed, such an alkyl or aryl radical can replace a hydrogen atom in variety of compounds called as alkyl or aryl compounds. And now there is nothing to be explained in that. We just remember hydrogen molecule is to be removed, and this hydrogen molecule is to be replaced. This hydrogen molecule is replaced, which will give rise to the formation of alkyl or aryl compounds, which we call as insecticides. Very so simple and so difficult to understand, I know, so I will not go in detail with that. Okay, so in this way, these organophosphorus compounds or insecticides are formed by replacement of hydrogen molecule from aliphatic and aromatic hydrocarbon to form alkyl or aryl combinations respectively, and will give rise to formation of insecticides. So insecticides will cause uh, the insecticides will cause poisoning. Insecticides will cause poisoning by inhalation, ingestion, or absorbed through unbroken skin. Because you might have heard, you might have read in the newspaper की this poisoning by insecticide can occur only by शेतामध्ये फवारणी केल्यानंतर खेतों में स्प्रे करने के बाद थोड़ा बहुत नाक में मुंह में अगर उड़ता है तो इट कैन कॉज पॉइजनिंग, इरिटेशन इन थ्रोट, स्नीजिंग, इरिटेटिव कफ एंड ऑल. स्वैलोइंग से, इंजेक्शन से तो पॉइजनिंग होने ही वाला है, बट इट कैन also cause poisoning by inhalation, and also when any farmer or any worker working in the farm with that particular insecticide, if it comes in contact with the skin, unbroken skin, healthy skin पे भी अगर वो उड़ता है वो इंसेक्टिसाइड और ऑर्गेनोफॉस्फोरस कंपाउंड हेल्दी स्किन के कांटेक्ट में आते ही हैं तो भी they can cause poisoning. Again, they are cumulative. Insecticides are also cumulative. Organophosphorus compounds are also having cumulative action. What do you mean by cumulative poison? Anyone? Yes, we have seen in the introductory part of toxicology. What do you mean by cumulative poison? And we have seen a few cumulative poison. We have already completed a few cumulative poisons also. What do you mean by cumulative poison? Anyone? It's very simple. No, not a single one. No one knows. Arey yaar, I have told you. So, okay, I will tell you. Cumulative means even if the poison has been taken in small dose, repeated small dose, it will get cumulative. It will get accumulated in the body, and when the fatal dose will be reached, it will give rise to the clinical features of poisoning. Got cumulative? Any example now you can remember? Any example of such a cumulative poison? We have already completed. इतना सन्नाटा क्यों है भाई? अरे जसं काय कधीच ऐकलेलं नाही, याच्या आधी कधीच ऐकलेलं नाही असे बसता रे तुम्ही. क्युम्युलेटिव्ह पॉइझन, आर्सेनिक. आर्सेनिक, even the small doses of arsenic are given repeatedly. खाण्यातून जेवणातून थोडं थोडं तर त्याचा फॅटल डोस इफ द फॅटल dose of arsenic is 120 milligram but not necessary to cause poisoning to any person. 120 milligram should be given. It can be given in small doses every time, 5 milligram, 10 milligram, 2 milligram, 5 milligram, like this. If it has been given in repeated small doses, it will get accumulated in the body, and when the fatal dose of 120 milligram will be reached, it will give rise to signs and symptoms of poisoning that we have seen in arsenic poisoning. So arsenic is a very good example. Arsenic is a very good example of cumulative poison. Just like that, these insecticides are also. So if any farmer is spraying or using these organophosphorus compounds in his farm, uh, that minute dose, he will be continuously exposed to the minute doses of organophosphorus either through inhalation or कमिंग इन कांटेक्ट विद द स्किन. उसके स्किन पे भी वो प्रिपेयर करते वक्त वो हाथ से प्रिपेयर करेगा वो पानी में डाल के वगैरह. सो व्हाइल प्रिपेयरिंग दैट ऑर्गेनोफॉस्फोरस कंपाउंड्स फॉर टू बी यूज्ड इन द फार्म, तो उसके स्किन के कांटेक्ट में आएगा, स्प्रे करते वक्त उसके स्किन के कांटेक्ट में आएगा वो, या थोड़ा बहुत इनहेल होगा. So it will get accumulated in the body and will cause, it will, one stage will come when it will reach its fatal dose and will cause poisoning. So inhalation, ingestion or absorption through the unbroken skin will cause poisoning by organophosphorus compounds, and it is having one characteristic, that is it is cumulative in nature. And now what is the basic action? What is the basic action of insecticide? That is, it is cholinesterase inhibitor. All the organophosphorus compounds are cholinesterase inhibitors. Now you people tell me where the cholinesterase is present. Now this question is from first year physiology, where the cholinesterase is present. Anyone? Simple. This question is from physiology, first year. Where the cholinesterase is present. Anyone? अरे बाप रे, एकाला ही नहीं. Not a single person is able to answer. राजेश, जीवन, तुषार, ऋषि, एकाला ही नहीं. प्रसाद, नो वन. अरे व्हेरी सॅड. बट कुठे असतं? नाही. कोण असते रे? येस, लिव्हर. ब्रेन झाला, लिव्हर झाला, अजून काय राहिलं आता? स्प्लीन, स्टमक, 4 झाले. अजून काय काय सांगितलं? ब्रेन, लिव्हर, स्प्लीन, स्टमक. हा, अजून अजून काय काय राहिलं? किडनी राहिली का? पॅन्क्रियाज. हा, respiratory system. Very good. Red blood, what answer I have got? Red blood cell, lungs, liver. अरे वाह, very good, very good. सापडलं का? कुठेतरी नेटवर बघून तरी आता शोध, एवढ्या वेळात शोधून सापडलं असेल ना? अरे किडनी, लिव्हर, ब्रेन, काय काय अजून, पॅनक्रियाज, एवढी सगळी उत्तरं सांगणाऱ्यांनो, कोलिनेस्टरेज इज प्रेझेंट इन सिनॅप्सेस. कोणीतरी सांगितलं मग अशी नेटवर शोधून, सिनॅप्सेस, इट इज प्रेझेंट इन सिनॅप्सेस. आता सांगा बरं, फंक्शन ऑफ काय फंक्शन काय त्याचं? व्हॉट इज द फंक्शन ऑफ कोलिनेस्टर? हां, वाय आय एम आस्किंग यू, जर तुम्हाला ही फिजिओलॉजी कळली तर तुम्हाला ॲक्शन कळेल. पॉयझनिंग इफेक्ट ऑफ ऑर्गॅनोफॉस्फरस कंपाऊंड्स, म्हणजे बेसिक तुम्हाला ही जर फिजिओलॉजी माहिती असेल तर हाऊ द पॉयझनिंग ऑकर्स बाय ऑर्गॅनोफॉस्फरस कंपाऊंड्स हे कळेल तुम्हाला. हॅव यू हर्ड वन मोर टर्म, ॲसेटिल कोलिन? ॲसेटिल कोलिन, हां, ॲसेटिल कोलिन कुठे असतं? वेअर द ॲसेटिल कोलिन इज प्रेझेंट? हां, याच्यामध्ये तुमच्या सिनॅप्समध्ये. सिनॅप्स, यू नो सिनॅप्स? येस, सिनॅप्स माहिती आहे ना? व्हॉट हॅपन्स इन सिनॅप्स? व्हेनेवर एनी रिफ्लेक्स कम्स, व्हेनेवर एनी मेसेज कम्स, तो मेसेज किंवा ती न्यूरोलॉजिकल इन्फॉर्मेशन एका सिनॅप्सपासून दुसऱ्या सिनॅप्सला कॅरी फॉरवर्ड करायची असेल, तर व्हॉट हॅपन्स इन बिटवीन दोज टू सिनॅप्स, ते दोन नर्व जिथे एकमेकाला जोडलेले असतात त्याला सिनॅप्स म्हणतात ना, तो सिनॅप्सचा जो गॅप असतो दोन नर्वच्या मधला, दोन न्यूरॉनच्या मधला, दॅट सिनॅप्स इज filled with acetylcholine, that is filled with acetylcholine. This acetylcholine will transmit the motor nerve impulse from one neuron to other. आणि एकदा का तो नर्व इम्पल्स पुढे कॅरी फॉरवर्ड झाला तर काय होतं? दॅट ॲसिटिलकोलिन इज काय होतं? त्या ॲसिटिलकोलिन, त्या ॲसिटिलकोलिनचं काम काय आहे? टू ट्रान्सपोर्ट द इन्फॉर्मेशन फ्रॉम वन न्यूरॉन टू अदर. हा, आता तो मेसेज पुढे न्यूरॉनला पुढे ट्रान्समिट करून झाला. सो व्हॉट विल हॅपन टू दॅट ॲसिटिलकोलिन? हा, इट विल नाव गेट डिस्ट्रॉइड, इट विल बी रिमूव्ड. हाऊ? Acetylcholine will be removed. Acetylcholine, once the message or the information has been carried forward across the synapses through acetylcholine, this acetylcholine will be destroyed by कोलिनिस्टरेज. कोलिनिस्टरेजचं काम काय आहे? परत तो गॅप तयार करायचा. ॲसिटिलकोलिनने त्याची इन्फॉर्मेशन पुढे ट्रान्समिट करण्याचं काम केलंय, सो दॅट ॲसिटिलकोलिन इज टू बी रिमूव्ड बाय कोलिनिस्टरेज. कळलं का? दिस इज व्हेरी सिम्पल फिजिओलॉजी. गॉट एव्हरीवन? कोण आवाज करते रे? समवन इज मेकिंग नॉईस. Okay, so this is the basic physiology. Ata, what is happening in what you got the physiology, basic physiology? Acetylcholine helps to transmit the information across the synapse. Now, once the information has been carried forward, this acetylcholine will be destroyed by acetylcholine. Now, what this poisoning is causing? It is a choline esterase inhibitor. It is a choline esterase inhibitor. त्यामुळे नर्व इम्पल्स पुढे ट्रान्समिट झाल्यानंतर कोलिनिस्टरेज तिथे येत नाही आणि ॲसिटिलकोलिन जसंच्या तसं राहतं. सो ॲसिटिलकोलिन विल बी प्रेझेंट देअर बिकॉज ऑफ ॲब्सेन्स ऑफ कोलिनिस्टरेज अँड देर इज कंटिन्युअस ट्रान्समिशन ऑफ द इम्पल्सेस. Got? This is the basic pathology caused by organophosphorus. Got everyone? If you are not understood, I will repeat. You got everyone? What happens? Let me know whether you have understood the basic pathology. कळतंय का? हो म्हणा, नाहीतर नाही म्हणा, म्हणजे मला रिपीट करायला. कळतंय का? तुम्हाला कळते की नाही तेच मला कळत नाही. नक्की एव्हरीवन? गॉट एव्हरीवन? Okay, I will tell you. So, these organophosphorus compounds of cholinesterase inhibitor. So, under the influence of organophosphorus poisoning, cholinesterase will not be formed. So, acetylcholine that has been formed for the transfer of information across the synapses will remain as it is, and there will be continuous or exaggerated transmission of impulses will occur, and that will give rise to the clinical features. So again, I tell you normal what I have written here. Normally, acetylcholine is liberated from the nerve stimulation, and impulse is transmitted from motor nerve to voluntary muscles, and from sympathetic nerve to involuntary muscles like bronchi, gastrointestinal tract, heart, all this is physiology. And liberated acetylcholine is destroyed or hydrolyzed by cholinesterase. Now what I have told you just now, in organophosphorus compound poisoning, what happens? Cholinesterase is inhibited, therefore acetylcholine will go on accumulating in synapse, and it causes hyper excitation of voluntary as well as involuntary muscles. कारण synapses मधून फक्त काय voluntary muscles impulses जातात असं नाही. व्हॉलंटरी मसल साठीच इम्पल्सेस किंवा मेसेजेस जातात असं नाही, इनव्हॉलंटरी मसल साठी पण जातात. दॅट्स वाय इट विल कॉज disturbances or excessive transmission of impulses through voluntary muscles and also to the involuntary muscles like bronchi, gastrointestinal tract, heart and all, and their activities or their normal function will be disturbed. Got everyone? And decrease in activity of cholinesterase by 30% will cause the symptoms of organophosphorus poisoning. म्हणजे कोलिनेस्टरेजची ऍक्टिव्हिटी, कोलिनेस्टरेजचं नॉर्मल फंक्शन 30% ने जरी कमी झालं, इट विल कॉज साइन्स अँड सिम्पटम्स ऑफ organophosphorus poisoning. कळली का बेसिक पॅथॉलॉजी? कोलिन इस्टरेज डिस्ट्रॉय होत नाही, सॉरी कोलिन इस्टरेज तयारच होत नाही, त्यामुळे ॲसिटिल कोलिन इज नॉट डिस्ट्रॉइड. सो बिकॉज ऑफ प्रेझेन्स ऑफ ॲसिटिल कोलिन कंटिन्युअसली इन द सिनॅप्सेस, continuously there will be transfer of messages from motor nerve to the voluntary muscles and from sympathetic nerve to the involuntary muscles, causing exaggerated response, causing hyper excitation of voluntary and involuntary muscle, giving rise to the clinical features. Got? कळलं का? नाही, नाही कळलं? ओके, टुडे विल स्टॉप हिअर. डोक्यावरून जायला लागलं तुमच्या असं वाटतंय मला. ओके, शुड आय स्टॉप? थांबायचं का? अरे आता तरी हो म्हणा. ओके ओके, कळलं का? बेसिक पॅथॉलॉजी कळली का तुम्हाला? आय एम अगेन आस्किंग, कारण ही पॅथॉलॉजी कळली तरच तुम्हाला आता त्या पुढच्या ज्या ॲक्शन्स आहेत. ओके, आय विल जस्ट शो यू द हेडिंग्स. वन सेकंड, आय विल जस्ट शो यू द हेडिंग्स. one second. Action, what are the actions of organophosphorus poisoning? See, these muscarine like, nicotine like, and action on central nervous system. ह्या ज्या काही ॲक्शन्स आहेत ह्या तुम्हाला कधी कळतील if you have understood the basic pathology or basic pathological changes they are taking place at synapses because of presence of acetylcholine continuous and absence of cholinesterase, that will cause the continuous transmission of nerve impulses across the synapses. हे कळलं तुम्हाला तरच त्या पुढच्या ॲक्शन्स कळतील. Okay, I hope you have understood everything, at least the basic pathology of organophosphorus poisoning. Remember, एकच शब्द लक्षात ठेवा, cholinesterase inhibitor. Organophosphorus compound is a cholinesterase inhibitor, which will cause continuous presence of acetylcholine in the gap of the synapse. So synapse gap मध्ये जे acetylcholine असतं, that will be continuously present and will cause continuous transmission of nerve impulses in voluntary muscles as well as in the involuntary muscles, causing the clinical presentation or toxicological effects of organophosphorus compounds. Got? कळलं का? Okay then. Okay, okay. We will stop here on Monday. On Monday, we will see remaining part, very important toxicological part, clinical features and all of organophosphorus compound. Okay, then I will end the meeting for all. Bye, bye. See you. Bye, everyone. Enjoy your Sunday. Hmm? Okay, bye.